Hi there, everybody, and welcome back to Prestige Auctions. It's the podcast, the Prestige Podcast. It's episode 8 already, and we've got Chris back. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Back in the country.
Oh, mate. Tom was great last week.
Yeah, seen. Yeah.
And then Albert the week before.
Yeah.
Did you see the Albert one?
Saw the Albert, saw Tom.
Yeah, Albert mentioned you. He said he hoped that he didn't mind you standing in and all the rest of it, or him standing in for you.
It was good. It was good podcast.
He's a nice guy, and it was nice to be out there. And do you know what? It's a little bit of a different vibe because when we're sat together all the time doing different bits and bobs, you kind of get to know what each other's going to say and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
when you
work
sat with
together,
somebody else you don't know, and that's quite
good.
Could
go really bad. Couldn't
it could go really bad, but that's why we don't do them live. we have a great editing suite. So last week, of course, it was then Tom. And then Tom stood in for you. And you know what? I was really, really surprised with Tom because I thought he was going to struggle with it. And he really didn't. Yeah. He really kind of enjoyed it. And, and he was really confident. When Lisa interviewed Tom for this job, he actually said about Fly on the Wall documentary and filming all this. He said, I don't know if I'm up for anything like that. And then slowly but surely, as you find your confidence and find yourself into the team.
You don't know till you give it a try, do you?
So how was France?
Oh, mate, it was fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah. 1 week off grid. Apart from, obviously, I got a little bit of 3G or 4G there, so I could keep in touch.
You really are in the sticks, aren't you, in France, where you go?
Yeah.
And you're just like a little hermit for a week, aren't you?
Yeah, I went all Bear Grylls.
You went all Bear Grylls this time, did you?
I didn't have no roadkill or anything. That was the last time I went. We had some roadkill deer.
You had some roadkill?
Yeah.
You being serious?
Yeah. Neighbour ran over it, so he fetched a bit back.
Not want not.
And he barbecued a little bit of Bambi.
What was it like?
Brilliant.
Is it nice?
Yeah, I wouldn't go out and run one over on purpose. But
well, obviously, if that happens, then that happens, doesn't it? But
yeah, it was good.
And so, do you get much done out there?
Yeah, did a lot of work on the house.
Yeah, you felling trees as well.
Yeah, chopping trees down.
I've seen the pictures, guys.
Doing a bit of renovation.
So as picture the scene, Chris being all manly and that, he's going, trees fell, need to sort it out. Goes in, he's got an old rusty bow saw.
Which I bought from here.
She bought from here. And he had to chop this whole tree up. And I've seen the pictures, I've seen the evidence. He did the lot, chopped it all in. He's got it drying in the racks, ready. I mean, that's such a man thing to do. That
it's just proper stuff. That
absolutely.
Is.
And no Kim with you, just all on your own.
No, it's a full scale holiday. This one.
Wow, good. So hey, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's. I know from talking of you and being friends. When you talk about French, you talk about it quite passionately, like, you love what you do over there. It's your little escape, isn't it?
It's a proper escape. A week's enough, especially this time of year because it's pitch black.
Yeah.
There's not much light in the
village.
I would
imagine cold.
It was to start with. Once I chopped that tree down and got hammered my wood pile a bit, we were all right.
It's just, basically, you're like in the wild, so you're like, eating deers and felling trees and stuff. I mean, do you go out in like a bear skin or something? Oh dear me! Well,
it's like an American horror film, isn't it? Really? So I've got hooks on the ceiling.
I imagine that I know it's sort of in a forest or in a sort of a wooded area.
It is, yeah.
A bit sort of Evil Dead.
Well, I've got an acre of land.
I got an acre of land.
I've got an acre.
Good job you don't live in this country. You'll be having massive taxes for you.
It'd be a solar farm by now, wouldn't it?
Oh my God. Listen, we've got loads to talk about today. It's going to be a bit of a long one today, guys, because there's a few bits to talk about. So we're going to talk about the challenge soon. So first of all, obviously, because everyone knows this is filmed on a Monday and it doesn't go out till a Friday night. The couple of things that we've been doing while you've been away is we did a podcast out there, and I think you've already watched it probably, to invite other YouTubers to come and film in the room at Prestige. But we're also looking for other YouTubers and local business people, own business owners, or just anybody really, that's got something a bit interesting to say, to come and sit down and have a podcast, do a podcast with us. We are going to change the format slightly. We're maybe going to put a Chesterfield suite in here. And make it a little bit more relaxed, or we're maybe going to put a high top table in with bar stools and just alter the way we do it. But I've already had a chat with a gentleman this week who's prepared to come onto a podcast with us, and he's like the guy in charge of eFactor and the Business Hive in Grimsby,
Right.
which is a really nice bloke. Easy to talk to, and I think he's got a lot to talk about. He's got a lot to tell you about what the Business Hive and eFactor and that can do for small businesses. So we'll save him to talk about that.
So there's plenty of people who are now doing this full time.
This is it, yeah.
They've stopped the full time jobs. Some of them have stopped the part time jobs, and they are now trading full time.
That's it, and it's a great way to earn money. I mean, we were always talking to everybody on the podcast about how you can make money from this industry, and we're going to talk a lot about that today. But no, so we do put it out there to everybody. If you want to come on a podcast, like I said, I'd love to get Jason Stockwood on of Grimsby Town. So if you know him, have a chat with him for us. If you'd come on, he's another local guy that's done well. And he's now doing great things down at Grimsby Town Football Club. But it's not just the bigger businesses we want the smaller businesses as well to come on. And plus any YouTubers as well. I mean, of course, we'd like to get all the big names on, but that's probably not going to happen. So we'll have anybody, any YouTuber, anyone that's having a go at doing YouTube, because do you know what? Every time I say, do you know what, by the way, I'm going to get filled in by my kids because
picking it up on that.
Yeah. So I've got to try and cut down with do you know what. But anyone that's doing YouTube at this moment in time that have got into it late, like we have, it is so much fun. There's so much. The power of YouTube is absolutely awesome. I would say is that don't think you're going to go onto YouTube unless you're a big name or whatever, or you've got an ace idea. You're not going to make millions of pounds at it. That's for sure.
Have you seen some of them adverts that are going off during our podcast?
No, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't know.
I'll tell you about them later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll look at that later.
Yeah.
But the thing
it's not
is,
9 o'clock yet.
But the thing is, when it comes to the way we have nothing to do with the advertising that goes on YouTube, you see. So
that's just randomly. Is that just completely random?
Yeah. So ultimately, I think I'm sure somebody will quote me on this, but when it comes to YouTube, if you can pay for YouTube Premium, which I think is about $17.99 a month, something like that. I pay for that, so I never see an advert. So, but when people that have got so many subscribers and all the rest, over 1,000 subs and that, get a penny or two or whatever for each advert that's shown, if the person watches it, then that's the advertisers that they block in. So lots of big companies and small companies booking with YouTube to do advertising. But I would imagine it'll be much like ITV advertising, that they will be able to specify the sort of genres. They were going to want some to catch into the people that may be specific. I don't know.
They'll have all that information.
I don't know how it works. And I mean, we should be getting paid by Coca-Cola, really, because we're both sat here drinking Coke. And there are product placement things and that do go on YouTube. Obviously, we're nowhere near big enough to capitalise on any of that. But the actual getting into YouTube and learning it, and learning how to edit and stuff, which I'm still not very good at. I would love to learn. If somebody could teach me, I'd love to learn how to do that better and smoother. But we're getting there, and I'm loving the podcast. The podcast to just sit down and have a chat. And you know what? I watch a lot of podcasts. That podcast, is supposed to be about listening. The rest of earpods and all the rest of it. But ultimately, I think the video ones are quite good because, I mean, I love the one with Roy Keane and Gary Neville and that.
I've not seen that.
Oh, mate, it is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And then, but if you want sort of a slightly different angle, you can watch Gary Lineker. I don't watch that one. I watch Gary Neville and Roy Keane.
He's got a bit of time with his hands now, hasn't
he? Who?
Lineker.
I think is he leaving Match of the Day?
Yeah,
something like that. So when you look at these podcasts, and I find them quite interesting. Of course, people that are going to watch this one are going to be interested in auctions and things. But let's talk about this week's auction. So if you haven't been to viewing today, my God, you need to come to the auction tomorrow, because this auction this week, I would say, is awesome.
I think it's the best auction we've had.
Yeah, I'm. So it's quite funny because we're having to be very careful because we're in a lot of filming today on a Monday. We do this. We've got the sneak peek to do. The elves have been filmed this morning. All the rest of it. We've got to be very careful in which order we put them out because we can't contradict ourselves in what we say. And we don't always film in order, do we?
Not in sequence. No.
So
there's a lot happened today.
Yeah, there's a lot happened. But if you didn't get to this week's auction, you didn't see the pictures. Well, there's a massive collection of marble in there. Statues. Some of them got some damage. A lot of them haven't. There's the trainers. The trainers.
Was it 100 pair?
100-odd pair of New Balance trainers
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Business that closed down. All brand new. Fantastic Christmas present idea. So if you are watching this on Friday night and you want to get to the auction tomorrow, they're going to be coming up around lunchtime.
They're all top line
No,
trainers,
maybe before lunchtime, actually. Maybe I would be here for 10:30 and get down here and bid on those because there's 120 pound pair of trainers, and last time I think there was making 30 odd quid a pair.
Yeah, 25 to 35.
That's a saving. That's a proper saving,
Yeah.
and that's why you should use auctions. But also,
I mean, even if you're not buying to sell on, I mean,
yeah, the flat that we cleared with the hats.
hey, there's hundreds.
There's just hundreds of hats. So everything from sort of tweed flat caps, similar to that, to an elephant on your hat, and the ones that go down and cover your ears, the camouflage ones.
Steampunk.
There's steampunk
Yeah,
stuff.
quite
There's all sorts.
Stuff.
But we're selling them in stacks sort of this high. So when you look online, if you sell these all individually, there's a lot of money to be made. But I will say they have been in store quite a while. So, you need to just make sure everything's okay.
I've had a little look. They're just a bit dusty, that's all.
Yeah, it's a bit dusty. Yeah. So there is money to be made on those. But I think that I'm just quite excited about it. Oh, and 3 cars in the auction this week.
Is that Picasso in?
The Picasso, I'm just waiting for the call. I'm hoping it's going to be in. And we are picking up another car in the morning from Mablethorpe, and then we've got another one to pick up tomorrow in Claythorpes. So we've 100% got 2 cars in, might be 3, might even be 4, because there's another guy that's been in touch with me about a car. So if you're after a cheap car this week, or say cheap, who knows, you never know with the auction. There's also cars in the auction. There's also a load of silver crowns. And would you say it's a good week for buying and reselling, though?
Yeah.
It's a different level, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gone up a notch. Totally gone up a notch. This stuff this week, which is in boxes that you would normally put out as individual items. So a lot of the boxes that we have in the box room, they're going to have things in them that would normally be singled out.
Yeah.
Because there's just that much stuff. It's going to be another 1,100 lot auction.
Yeah, it was certainly looking that way. I mean, that last week's auction didn't look that big, and actually it was like 1,150, 1,160 lots, and you're just getting up there all the time with these amount of lots, and I can tell you that more and more and more people are contacting us from further and further afield. We're going to do a job in Mansfield soon. The second one we've done in Mansfield. So somebody's spreading the word about Prestige in Mansfield, and we're getting jobs from out that way. And there's a reason for this, and it's because of the way we do things at Prestige. It's just a lot different. It's a lot more customer friendly, and people like that format, I think. And so I mean, obviously, I've not really looked at the auction. I've been out and doing other things all day. But would you say there is stuff in there to buy and sell? Just before, with that thought in your head, the marble and that, I mean, that stuff can be a serious amount of money, but it's not easy to move, is it?
No, it's got to be worth hiring a van, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, people get a lot of assistance here, loading and unloading.
Yeah.
So getting it on somebody's trailer or van to go out is not a problem. But you can hire vans from B&Q now, can't you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can do it online, keyless. I think you just book it and then you put some sort of a code in.
Wow.
I think it's worth hiring a van for that stuff because.
But I think if you've got you're in an antique centre, or I think they need to start changing the name as antique centres to sales centres.
Yeah.
Because every antique, so-called antique centre that I walk around is not full of antiques.
Well, my list from the antique centre this week, if there's 50 items that's sold on it, 40 of them are not antiques.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I mean the world of antiques has certainly dropped off quite a lot anyway, unless they're super special.
Yeah.
when they're still making top money.
Yeah, I think the top end stuff's probably okay.
Yeah. But
If
other
one
than
was
that,
dropped down a little bit, it's pretty flat.
I think it's becoming a bit of a struggle. But anyway, also, it would have been Elvis viewing today.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. It's been like cabaret. It's been like Phoenix Nights in here today.
It's been a bit of fun, hasn't it? It's going to be a bit of fun.
I never knew
Friday as
Elvis
well.
and Oasis would be in the building at the same time.
I didn't. Eurythmics, 10 Shot, Barry Manilow was
Yeah,
here.
he was here.
Yeah,
Not for long.
They've all been there. But it's been a bit of a fun day down here. And again, coming down to our thing, that it doesn't feel like work here, does it really? It's just, it can do when there's heavy stuff to move.
Can we do that every Monday?
Yeah, well, why not? So we've got that. So the Elvis thing, of course, what you've missed out on while you've been away is the grief that we got online from one or two people.
Yeah, I've heard
which
a bit.
we are we're just waiting for the video to come through now, and because somebody did screenshot it and they did screen record it, and it might have actually come through now, and we are looking at the another YouTuber, sadly. But we're looking at it legally.
Yeah,
you've
got to protect yourself.
You can't come on and say certain things about people and not expect there not to be a consequence to that.
Yeah,
because in a world where you can be anything, be nice. You don't have to be full of hate all the time, do you?
No, but did we have something about this not too long back? Is it an actual crime? This financial sabotage?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you try and the digital communications and financial sabotage. I mean, we're involved in a police case against somebody at the moment where the police are involved in that.
Yeah.
In fact, it was only yesterday I was doing a statement for it because the thing is, it's very easy to just sit there and go enter. So
50% of the people that view that,
and then then one of your friends say to you, "Do you know what? I think you ought to look at that. I think you've just put something down there which is libelous." And then they go, "Oh, do you think? I'll take it off." And I think they took it off, and that's it. But everything you do online, everything has got a footprint.
Yeah.
It's in a data center somewhere. So as long as somebody gets the means or finds out how to get to that footprint that you've put there, it's like when police do cases. When police do cases in court, and they're looking at text messages and that, they might have all been deleted, but they still get them, don't they?
Yeah, they still
get them all. Yeah. So ultimately, people
are just...
What?
They're not there forever, are they?
Oh God, Chris, don't. Put it this way, we could never be politicians. We'd be out within a week. But the thing is, I think it's just a message to people that think on what you're putting online, and make sure you are factual. Because if you're not factual and you try and do business or character assassination, people are going to sue you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there are more and more cases now going through the courts week in, week out that people are winning because the evidence is all there. When you used to say something, there was maybe a little bit of an argument of whether you said it or not.
Yeah, you need to witnesses and stuff. Yeah,
you're actually giving them the evidence they need.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's something that we're looking into, and something that may or may not go anywhere. But when it just make you just wonder, doesn't it? The wonder of you. It just makes you.
It's going to be like this.
Yeah.
It's going to be like for the next week, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But it does make you wonder if why people think it's a good idea. But anyway, we've covered that on other videos. So hopefully we're going to be looking forward to, at this point next on Friday, we'll be looking forward to the Elvis auction on Wednesday. 4:00 start. 4:00 in the afternoon start for
I'm really looking forward to that.
Because it's a 4:00 start, obviously, because of the American market. We've had calls from America that are interested in bidding, but they said they would like to have either telephone lines or bid online. And of course, it's the middle of the night there. So we're trying to do it so it works for the UK and for the States as well.
How many Elvises do you think are going to be in the room?
On Friday or Wednesday?
Yeah, Friday as well, viewing day.
Friday for viewing. Who knows? There could be one or two. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I've seen all sorts of Elvises in the past, haven't you?
Yeah,
I've seen a lot that can't sing, that think they can.
Tenerife. Is the Elvis bar in Tenerife? That's brilliant.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever been there. I have been to Tenerife. I've not been to the Elvis bar. How did you find that?
Fell out of a Chinese drunk. Like everybody does when they go to Tenerife.
Sounds about right for you, Chris. You was drunk. That's drunk. That must have changed, doesn't it? So, Elvis, can't wait for that. Looking forward to it. Do you know what? More than anything, I'm looking forward to it for Lisa. This is Lisa's baby, this one. She put it all together.
Mm.
I won't say quite upset. She got very upset with the stuff that was going on online, and to the point where at one point she was going to pull the auction.
Yeah.
That discussion happened.
Yeah.
Shall we pull this auction? And then, you know what? You went from, I've just said it again. You went from the haters to some magnificent people online talking to you, telling you things, saying that they were interested in the auction, people in different parts of the world as well. And all of a sudden that you thought, when they said to you, well, you look at these threads and that, and where they've got these Elvis discussion boards and that, actually, when you looked on there, it seems that every time somebody puts something up for sale, there's somebody slagging it off.
They're jumping on it, aren't they? Yeah.
And I said in one of the other videos, I never realised there were so many Elvis experts around the world. There seems to be hundreds of them. But anyway, people will bid all the way. We've put the disclaimers on, and we just want to have a great auction, a good day.
Well, Lisa was happy today.
Do what?
Lisa was happy today.
Yeah,
we were dressing Elvis today.
Yeah. We've just been doing stuff for photos and all sorts, haven't we? So it's going to be an interesting one. But anyway, we shall see where that goes. Well, so I made a bit of a decision while you was away. Sorry to make the decisions about you, but because I messed up. Well, not just because I messed up. I want to reset the challenge.
It's just because I was beating you by a country mile.
You was beating me. You was.
I had to leave the country to give you a chance.
You was beating me, but what happened? Just while you're talking about beating me, just tell me what happened to some of your stock.
Well, it's now part of the renovation of the house. I did that well on it. The overspill that weren't needed.
You didn't by any chance sell it to yourself, did you, to get yourself in the lead?
No, I had that bit for free.
So
for your £20.
Yeah, but actually, I still haven't had back.
I've got it. It's in my pocket.
Don't give me now. Listen, this is why I want to reset the challenge. Because I bought a pile of crap. And there was a lesson in that. I bought it too quickly. I didn't look. I didn't do my research. Everything I told everyone else not to do, I went and did the opposite. So ultimately, we're resetting the challenge. Why are we resetting the challenge? And this is going out directly to the camera because it's for you guys. We want as many people as possible to get involved with this challenge. And the challenge is to turn £20 into as much as you can over a 52-week period. So over a year, but you've got to follow our instructions. You've got to be disciplined with it. Now, some people are saying, oh, it's just trying to drum up business for the auction room. I'm saying wherever you are in the world, wherever you are watching this, get involved and you won't be buying from us. So anyone that is saying that, stay behind your keyboard. Ultimately, take the £20 that you can have or you'll get yourself, and then start buying things, and then keep a chart of everything that you do and see how much you can do over 52 weeks. Of course, the important bit with all this, Chris, is to be disciplined, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And I think that's hard sometimes.
It is when you run your own little show anyway, and you do this it's probably harder for me and you to do than everybody else.
Yeah, because you've got your own stuff.
You're already trading.
Well, yeah, so. And you're trying to do a challenge on the side. But the reason I think it's tricky for some people, and this goes back to week 1 of the podcast when we're talking about 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100. When you start making money, if you haven't got lots of money, the temptation to dip into that money is quite hard to resist sometimes.
The key is to reinvest.
The key is to reinvest. And the reason being is when you start with £20 note, if you sell enough stuff there and you turn that 20 into 40, you've got to take your £20 back. Because the reason being for that, and it's psychological, once you've got that £20 back in your pocket, you are playing with free money at that point. You're not playing with your own money anymore.
At that, yeah.
So but what's harder at the start is when you reinvest that money, you're buying smaller things to make smaller profits. And this is why it's key to keep that float going, because when that 20 becomes 50, that 50 becomes 100, or more significantly, when that 100 becomes 500, the temptation at that point is a lot bigger to dip into it. Oh, should we have a Chinese tonight, love? Oh, should we nip out on Saturday? Oh, I'll tell you what, there's that money there. Should we buy that new thing? And ultimately, if you do that, then you're going to fail. You're going to fail this challenge very quickly.
You fall back to beginning again, don't you?
And I'll tell you why, and Chris will back me up on this, is that turning £20 into £100 is the most difficult bit. Turning £100 into £200 gets a little bit easier. 200 to 500 gets even easier. And turning 1,000 into 2,000 is even easier still. Why? Because when you're buying smaller items, there's a lot more work involved.
It's the workload.
Yeah. And also, if you're into the £1,000 bracket, where you're looking at an item for sale in an auction, on Facebook, on eBay or whatever, that you think, that's a bit cheap, that. At £1,000, whereas there might be 100 people in the marketplace to buy something at £20, there might only be 5 in the marketplace to buy it at
brings
£1,000.
your competition right down.
Brings your competition right down. But that £1,000, you could, I could sell that to so-and-so for £1,200. Right, I'll buy it, £1,000. All of a sudden, bang, you've made £200. Whereas at the start, you're making £2, £4, £5. When you get into the bigger league, if you like, in buying and selling, that we see with dealers constantly, don't we? That they will come into an auction and they don't mess about with the mixed boxes and that anymore. They've done all that. They're then coming in and buying the items of jewellery, the cars and all the rest of it. Because I remember a guy buying a car at the auction for like £500, telling me the next day when he came in to pick some more stuff up that he'd won, he'd already sold it, £600. Made £100 in 24 hours. That was obviously including his commissions and that. So he made £100 on top of his whole investment.
The only thing you have to be careful of is not falling flat or buying badly with your large amount of money and tying it up.
Yeah, because then it can become a problem.
Yeah, you buy a £500 lemon as a car.
Yeah,
you're either stuck with it.
Well, this is where it comes back to the research.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everything I didn't do in the original one.
I know, but it's funny.
It is fun, but because of that, you sort of look. I know Lisa's at the window, isn't she? Oh my God! If you could see this, everybody. So we've got Lisa and Tom. What sort of? Come on in. Come in. Then we can show you. So you can show everybody at home. Just walk over this way, please. Walk over this way. Come on, show everybody at home. Keep going. This is what we have to put up with at the window. Okay. So when you see us looking that way all the time, this is why. Okay, because they're trying to make us laugh at the window.
Sabotage.
Get out. Go on. Go.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
See you later.
Payback.
Shut the door. So this is what we have to put up with. This is supposed to be a serious podcast, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it always
we can't
is.
work in these conditions, can we?
Always serious.
So ultimately, when it comes to the buying and selling, the research is probably the most important. But how much, realistically, Chris, how many hours a week? Now, bear in mind, you do it to kind of make a living, don't you?
Yeah.
So how many hours a week do you spend doing research?
I do it after I've bought it. To be fair.
Yeah, but that's because you've moved on a lot.
In the early days, I would look at every pitch as every picture came through. If there was something I weren't interested in, I knew I wouldn't be making money on, I'd skip it. But I'd look at every picture, write it down, and I'd check out what it sells for. So when I come into the auction, I've got a list of, especially on eBay, on the solds, I've got a list down of how much they generally make, so I know what I can bid to.
Yeah.
And I probably did that for 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me a story years ago. Chris has some great stories. In fact, we can sit there. We could probably sit there one night and do a bottle of Jack Daniels, couldn't we? Just talking about stuff that's happened in the past. Not that I drink Jack Daniels, but that's another story. He does. He'll drink the whole bottle. I'll just watch, and his stories will get funnier as the more he drinks. And he told me this story about buying a box of videos out of the auction room, blank videos, but they'd obviously been taped on years ago, and you was finding old Match of the Day.
Yeah. I've got a few left.
Games and stuff, weren't you?
Yeah.
And stuff. Now, handy tip again. Years ago, there was a lot of stuff that went on telly that these days, because it's all digital, they just save everything.
Yeah.
It stays there forever. But so, for instance, a lot of the early episodes, don't quote me on this, but I think I'm right in saying this because I've read it before. A lot of the early episodes of Tiswas
I've had some.
have gone.
Yeah.
They didn't save it because I think there was a big fire at some place, wasn't there?
Is it Elstree?
I don't exactly know where it was, but they
don't have records.
They don't have records. So things like Tiswas, OTT, certain shows that was on the telly years ago.
Why don't you?
Why don't you?
Yeah.
There's not many. There's not much of it around to see. So if you go into an auction room, I say, because that's the best place you're going to find this stuff. Because even the charity shops will probably just chuck them away if they're coming on a job. Box of somebody's old videos goes in there. You put them in, and then you literally have to sit and watch them, don't you?
Yeah.
And through a video recorder on your telly, and then try and see if there's anything obscure on there. Now, I've seen certain things selling on from our videotapes, not making hundreds of pounds.
Top of the Pops is good. People who recorded Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
70s, 80s. I've still got a few of those left.
And then, of course, Chris is the man that came up with the video case idea. You should have patented this. He worked it out, that a video case, get rid of the video, is the large letter size for every, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect for every postable.
So you can put something that will fit into a video case, so keep it a lot safer in a real hard plastic case.
Yeah.
Pop it in an envelope, and it'll go through somebody's letterbox.
Yeah. None of this waiting on the doorstep, somebody nicking it.
Yeah.
In it goes.
Cheap packaging.
Yeah.
Cheap,
£3.
good quality packaging.
£3 for a box of 50 videos.
I know. It's cheaper than bubble lined envelopes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, so back to the challenge.
There is a few other things on them videos as well that you shouldn't really watch.
Well, yeah, this is true.
There's a few homemade things.
Oh, I don't.
I've not recognised anybody, but there is a few homemade ones.
Yeah, no. I mean, thing is, people, when they pass away, all the secrets come out, don't they? They're all there to be found by the house clearance guy. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to reset the thing anyway, Chris, because I want to reset and I want to get people involved. So I want you guys out there to jump on and message us and say, I'm getting involved, Carl and Chris, and we're going to do a leaderboard every week. And we've already had... So I'm actually teaming up with somebody. I'm teaming up with Brandon.
Right.
Lisa's getting involved. She's teaming up with Tom. You're on your own. You're doing it on your own or with Kim?
Are we aiming for a cruise?
We're aiming for a cruise.
Well, if Jane's watching, Jane McDonald.
You want to team up with Jane McDonald?
Yeah. Jenny saw her in a shop in Barnsley buying some sausages. So if Jenny knocks... If my sister's watching, if you see Jane again, ask her if she wants to team up with me.
Team up with Chris on the challenge.
But no, if not...
I think Jenny should do the challenge, to be fair.
Yeah, I think she is.
Is she going to have a go?
Yeah, Jenny will have a go.
Jenny... So
I'll be teaming up with Kim. I can't...
Well, Lisa's been me off.
I'd be in so much trouble if I...
Yeah, but Jenny is sister. She's a bit mad, isn't she?
She's crackers.
She's a bit crackers.
Yeah.
But you know what? She's so funny. She just, every time I see it, I just laugh. She just she's just going to say something that's going to make her laugh. Anyway, that's another story. So maybe we'll get her on the podcast one week.
Yes.
A good idea.
Yeah.
She does buying and selling.
Yeah.
She'd love it.
Yeah.
Jenny, you're invited on the podcast if you fancy to go one week. So, but that's the idea. Leaderboard each week. A little bit of competition, no prizes. No, the reason there's no prizes because then it's not really in your benefit to cheat. I've purpose on that.
It'd be quite good if you got to the point where people decided they were going to like put it towards a cruise, and we had a great big gang of us go out.
Well, I think that would be funny. I mean, this would be the aim. So we are starting from this week. So December, yeah. First week in December, 52 weeks is the first week in December next year, with a plan of the holiday for the April the following. So if anybody gets to the cruise level, if any of us do, then we will be planning a cruise for around April time the following year. So if you think you can do it, if you think you've got what it takes, if you fancy, in theory, working a little bit and getting yourself a free cruise, because that's what you're doing, because you're going to take that £20 back from original. And do you know what? If you can do it, I said it again, if you can do it, it might just show you a way of how you can earn some extra money from places like Prestige Auctions. We nearly forgot something. If we're going to go out there and be like proper antiques dealers, we need to wear the hats.
That's Bobby, innit?
Because it seems that if you're on a BBC show or something like that, if you're an antiques dealer, you've got to wear a hat. And you've got to look something like this.
Is it shining off the camera?
Yeah. We'll get you in makeup next time.
Oh, it fits nice.
Yeah. So me and you now can go out and pretend we're on Antiques Road Trip or something like that. Buy the wrong way round. But as soon as we walk into an antique centre with a hat on like this, they're going to give us 90% discount.
Yeah, it's magic.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
You remind me of somebody, but I can't put it.
Just be careful. Why do you think, just before we wrap this up, why do you think, and you do see this a lot, don't tell anyone, I walk around the antique centres and that, why do some people think that when they go to an antique centre, start buying, they have to wear tweed coats, Wellington boots and a daft hat?
Have you seen the bloke who looks like Hitler? Have you seen him? He does. It's like, first time I saw him, I thought, that's Hitler. But he didn't buy anything, he just wandered around.
Why do they do it? Why do certain people, you see it on boot sales as well, so-called dealers, think they have to put a wax coat on, a pair of wellies, a scarf and a hat, and then stand there at every store making out they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you know about this? Well, you tell me, you're a dealer.
I don't want it for me. I've got a friend who wants one.
I'm a collector. My mum's a collector. She's in a home. We've heard it all, dealers. Pack it in. You've been caught out. But don't forget, if you want to be a proper dealer, you've got to wear a hat.
And we've got plenty.
And we've got plenty in this week's auction. Listen, everybody, thank you ever so much for watching Prestige Auctions Podcast Episode 8. Me and Chris are now going to go away and try and figure out a way to make a load of money to go on a cruise with you guys. Thanks ever so much for watching. Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
And we'll see you at the auction.